In the heart of a mansion that stretched like a fortress, a billionaire lay trapped between life and death. Alan Crawford, a man who had everything, now had nothing but machines keeping him alive. Outside, rain lashed against the windows, thunder rolling like a warning. The house felt hollow, echoing footsteps of staff who moved with hushed fear. The air smelled faintly of antiseptic and cold marble. For months, hope had been extinguished, whispered away by despairing doctors. Cameras monitored every corridor, every room, but none could predict what was about to happen. In the darkness, a small shadow moved silently, unseen, unnoticed. A stray cat, black as midnight, padded through the mansion with deliberate grace. Its eyes gleamed like tiny lanterns, reflecting the storm outside. It paused, sensing something in the stillness, a life that hung by threads. The mansion, rich with wealth but empty of life, seemed to hold its breath. The cat's soft steps echoed in the corridors, carrying an invisible tension. Something was about to stir, something impossible. The room where Alan lay felt heavier, charged, as if waiting. Outside, lightning split the sky, illuminating the mansion's silent grandeur. And then, in a moment, both ordinary and miraculous, the cat entered the billionaire's room. A presence, unseen yet undeniable, filled the air. Tonight, the impossible would happen, and no one could explain why. The cat leapt onto the bedside table, landing with delicate precision, its tail flicking nervously as it surveyed the machinery keeping Alan alive. Every wire, every tube seemed to hum in response to its presence. The storm outside mirrored the tension inside, rain hammering like a drumbeat. The room felt smaller, compressed, alive with anticipation. The cat's eyes locked onto Alan's motionless face, unblinking and intense. A faint warmth emanated from its tiny body, almost imperceptible but undeniable. It circled the bed, moving with a ritualistic grace, careful and deliberate. Machines beeped erratically, as if sensing a disturbance beyond their understanding. Shadows twisted along the walls, dancing with the flickers of lightning. The cat sat down, tail wrapped around its paws, surveying the room like a guardian. Outside, thunder rolled and shook the mansion's foundations, echoing the tension within. Alan's breathing remained shallow, almost imperceptible, yet something had changed. The cat's gaze seemed to pierce through the veil of unconsciousness. A soft meow resonated, melodic and haunting, filling the room with impossible energy. The monitors recorded unusual spikes, patterns that baffled the observing nurses. Every element of the mansion, the walls, the furniture, even the air itself, seemed charged. It was as if time had slowed, waiting for a single moment. The cat's presence radiated a strange calm, commanding yet gentle. In that silence, the mansion no longer felt empty. The first sign of something extraordinary had arrived. A faint sound drifted across the room, a whisper that seemed to call Alan's name. It was neither mechanical nor human, but something in between, soft yet persistent. The cat's ears twitched, and it stared at a corner where shadows moved unnaturally. Alan's fingers twitched beneath the sheets, almost imperceptibly. The machines, once steady, now responded to the whisper, their beeps syncing with the strange cadence. Outside, lightning flared, illuminating the mansion with brief, violent clarity. The cat purred, a low, vibrating sound that seemed to harmonize with the storm. The walls felt like they were breathing, pulsing with life that had been absent for months. Every observer watching remotely felt a shiver run down their spine. Alan's eyelids fluttered, a faint reaction unnoticed by anyone at first. The whisper grew louder, insistent, melodic, as if urging him to return. Shadows twisted and writhed, yet the cat remained calm, watching, waiting. It nudged Alan's hand gently, its tiny warmth seeping into his frozen skin. Outside the storm raged, but inside the room, an unnatural calm settled. Time itself seemed stretched, suspended between the past and the impossible. Alan's chest rose slightly, a small but undeniable sign of life. The machines registered the change, but no explanation made sense. The whisper and the cat were connected, their energy intertwined in the room. Something beyond human understanding had entered the mansion. The miracle, fragile and unbelievable, had begun its slow work. Alan's chest rose with a faint, trembling breath, so small it could have been mistaken for a machine error. The cat moved closer, nudging him with deliberate insistence. The storm outside echoed the tension inside, rain striking windows like percussion. Machines beeped wildly, registering pulses that defied logic or medical explanation. Shadows danced, stretching and twisting across marble floors in the flickering light. The cat's eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, reflecting the flashes of lightning. Every object in the room felt charged, as if alive with unseen energy. Alan's fingers curled slightly, the first conscious movement in months. A warmth spread from the cat into his body, invisible yet real. Nurses watching remotely whispered prayers, their disbelief clashing with hope. Alan's eyelids fluttered, then opened partially, revealing hazel eyes clouded with confusion. The whisper softened, more melodic now, almost coaxing him toward consciousness. His lungs filled with shaky, uneven breaths, life rekindled slowly. Every heartbeat resonated through the room, audible in the oppressive silence. The cat circled again, tail flicking, as if ensuring the miracle completed. Outside, lightning struck again, briefly illuminating the mansion's grand emptiness. Alan's gaze followed the cat, recognizing something beyond reason. He tried to speak, voice hoarse, whispering sounds that barely formed words. The impossible had begun to manifest through this small, silent creature. And the mansion, once lifeless, now felt like it had a soul. Alan's eyes fully opened, blinking against the dim lighting of the room. The cat hissed once, alert, guarding him from something unseen. His gaze swept the space, confused, sensing life in a place once dead. Machines beeped steadily, though they now seemed secondary to something greater. A warmth filled the room, emanating from the small black feline. Alan's lips parted, voice shaky, words almost lost to disbelief. What happened?" he whispered, barely audible. The cat's gaze locked onto his, unblinking, almost triumphant. Shadows receded as if acknowledging the return of life. The storm outside softened, rain tapping gently against the windows now. Monitors showed vitals stabilizing, miraculous patterns solidifying into normalcy. Staff watching remotely struggled to process what they saw, amazement written across their faces. Alan tentatively touched the cat, feeling warmth that defied explanation. Its purr resonated, echoing through the machines and the room. Every object seemed infused with an unfamiliar vibrancy, as if alive. Alan's chest rose deeper now, every breath a victory. Family members, called urgently, rushed in, faces pale with disbelief. No one could explain what had occurred, only that it had. The mansion's atmosphere shifted from cold emptiness to charged life. And in that moment the impossible had become reality before everyone's eyes. How had a simple stray cat performed the impossible? Doctors admitted ignorance, unable to explain the miraculous recovery. Security footage confirmed the cat's presence but revealed nothing extraordinary. Alan, though awake, felt touched by something beyond reason. Family whispered theories, blessing, miracle, or fate's intervention. Every corner of the mansion seemed alive, observing, sentient. The storm had passed, leaving silence and awe in its wake. Alan struggled to comprehend what had unfolded, logic failing him. Shadows still moved faintly as if aware of the miracle. The cat became a myth, a silent legend that no one could grasp. Machines now functioned normally, yet their rhythm felt different. Staff remained cautious, reluctant to tempt forces unseen. The mansion, once a tomb of wealth, felt like a sanctuary. Something ancient, unexplainable, had intervened, shifting reality itself. Alan realized life's fragility in ways he had never imagined. Wealth and power seemed insignificant compared to what had occurred. He reflected on destiny, miracles, and unseen guides. Every day carried echoes of the storm and that night. Questions remained unanswered, and perhaps they always would. But one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same. Nothing would ever be the same. Alan searched the mansion for answers, discovering old diaries and journals. They spoke of ancestors who revered feline spirits, believed to bridge life and death. Legends suggested a black cat could awaken the dormant. He realized the event was no accident, but destiny. The mansion itself seemed like a vessel for forgotten magic. Every hallway and portrait now carried meaning beyond wealth or aesthetics. Alan felt chosen, touched by forces he could not explain. Nights became tense, filled with whispers and glimpses of shadows. Staff grew uneasy, sensing an invisible presence that protected or observed. Alan documented everything, attempting to understand the miracle's origin. The cat's visit was a turning point, a sign of something ancient. Every object and corner seemed charged with hidden energy. Life, death, and the supernatural intertwined in ways he could feel. The mansion had transformed from a tomb into a living archive. Alan's purpose shifted from riches to understanding the miraculous. He began studying ancient texts, searching for guidance and insight. The story of the black cat spread quietly among staff. Fear mingled with awe, shaping the mansion's new atmosphere. Even in sunlight, shadows hinted at the unseen forces at work. Alan realized that miracles often appear in the smallest, quietest forms. The mansion remained alive with subtle, mysterious energy for months. Shadows moved where no one expected them, watching or guiding. Alan sometimes felt a presence, protective yet inscrutable. The black cat never returned physically, but its legend endured. Machines occasionally recorded subtle anomalies, fleeting yet noticeable. Staff whispered of faint meows or glimpses of fur in corners. Guests felt chills, unsure whether to believe or dismiss. Alan embraced the uncertainty, knowing he had witnessed a miracle. Every night, the mansion pulsed with unseen life, quiet but persistent. The air carried faint whispers, gentle and urging. Alan noticed subtle changes in portraits and furniture, as if alive. The stormy night remained vivid in his memory, haunting yet beautiful. The mansion had shifted from a place of wealth to one of mystery. Life itself seemed fragile, unpredictable, yet capable of wonders. The black cat's presence lingered in spirit, unseen but eternal. Every heartbeat in the mansion echoed with the miraculous memory. Alan understood that the impossible can touch anyone at any time. Shadows became a part of daily life, silent guides or watchers. The mansion had become a nexus of the miraculous and the unknown. And Alan, once lifeless, now lived forever changed, aware of forces beyond comprehension. Alan uncovered connections between his ancestors, feline legends, and miracles. The diaries describe black cats guiding life, choosing moments to intervene. The night of his awakening matched every ancient description perfectly. He realized wealth and knowledge were secondary to the mystical forces at play. The mansion itself was a conduit, amplifying unseen energies. The cat's actions were deliberate, guided by forces beyond reason. Every detail, the storm, the whispers, the shadows, aligned with destiny. Alan understood he was part of a lineage intertwined with the miraculous. Nights became moments of meditation, reflection, and cautious reverence. He studied the texts, seeking patterns, signs, and guidance. Even ordinary objects now carried symbolic significance, reminders of unseen power. Alan embraced both fear and awe, knowing life could shift unexpectedly. Staff became witnesses to minor phenomena, inexplicable but undeniable. The mansion thrummed with subtle life, always hinting at mysteries. He realized that miracles could occur quietly, unseen by the world. Life, death, and the supernatural coexisted in fragile balance. Every day reminded him of the black cat's intervention. He documented experiences, leaving a legacy beyond wealth or fame. The mansion had transformed into a living testament to miracles, and Alan, once a prisoner of machines, now became a steward of the inexplicable. Alan's life changed completely, driven by newfound purpose and awareness. The mansion, once empty, became a sanctuary of quiet miracles. Shadows, whispers, and subtle movements marked the presence of the unseen. Staff adapted to the mansion's rhythms, respectful and cautious. Alan studied mystical forces, ancient texts, and the lineage of feline intervention. He documented events blending science and superstition into a careful chronicle. Guests experienced chills, awe, and fascination, unable to fully explain the feeling. The Black Cat's visit remained the turning point, mysterious and eternal. Even ordinary nights felt charged, alive with possibility. Alan realized that life's fragility made every breath sacred. Wealth now seemed trivial compared to the lessons learned. Every corner of the mansion pulsed with subtle, guiding energy. He shared stories selectively, teaching caution, reverence, and awe. The mansion itself seemed to judge, guide, or protect its inhabitants. Alan's body, once lifeless, now thrummed with renewed energy. He accepted the miraculous as part of daily reality. Shadows, whispers, and the memory of the cat shaped his perspective. Life and death now carried weight, meaning, and mystery. The mansion had become more than home. It was a nexus of the extraordinary, and Alan embraced it fully, changed forever by the unseen. Years passed, yet the mansion remained alive, charged with the miracle's energy. The Black Cat never returned physically, but its spirit endured in legend. Alan dedicated his life to understanding miracles, mysteries, and fate. Shadows moved subtly, guiding or observing, never harming. Guests felt awe, reverence, and quiet fear upon entering. The mansion had transformed from a tomb of wealth to a living sanctuary. Alan's chronicles recorded minor and major phenomena for generations to come. Machines, though functional, seemed secondary to the mystical presence surrounding the house. The lesson endured. Life is fragile, unpredictable, and miraculous in small ways. Alan understood that miracles can come disguised in silent, unnoticed forms. The night of awakening remained vivid, shaping every choice thereafter. Shadows whispered, guiding, teaching, reminding of unseen forces. The mansion, Alan, and the Black Cat's legacy intertwined eternally. Visitors often reported chills, faint purrs, and flickering shadows. Life, death, and mystery coexisted in fragile, astonishing balance. Alan became a custodian of the miraculous, his wealth meaningless by comparison. The mansion hummed quietly, alive with the miraculous memory of that night. And every heartbeat, shadow, and whisper reminded him that wonders can come silently. The Black Cat's miracle endured, invisible, eternal, and impossible to forget. Life, once mundane, was now charged with the extraordinary. Alan's story reminds us that miracles often appear in the smallest, most unexpected forms. Life is fragile, full of mysteries that defy explanation, waiting to surprise us. Perhaps in your own life, unseen forces are guiding you quietly. Never dismiss the impossible, for it may already be at work around you. Like Alan, embrace awe, curiosity, and gratitude for what you cannot explain. The world is full of silent wonders waiting to awaken your senses. Pay attention to the unnoticed, the overlooked, and the humble beings around you. You never know when a stray moment could change everything forever. If this story gave you chills, share it with someone who believes in the miraculous. And remember, the extraordinary often hides in the quietest corners of life.